Welcome to the Joseph733 channel, and I'm with KasperBest, the man who made Survival Challenge 2. So, we will be comparing two phones today, the Nokia Lumia 800 and the Nexus 4. So, we'll be starting with the Nexus 4, reviewed by Kasper.
So, we'll be starting with the Nexus 4 by Google LG here. It's got a camera, front and back. The one on the back is 8 megapixels, the one on the front is 3 megapixels. It's got 3 physical buttons. It's with the latest version of Android 4.2.1. It's got Gorilla Glass back and front. Do note that protection is only sold for the front of the Nexus. It is a one-piece phone. There's no opening, there are screws on the bottom, but it's not recommended trying. There's no expandable storage for it. The screen size is 4.7. This is a rootable device, and it comes in at a total price of 3,000 kroner or £300.
Okay, so now over to the Lumia 800. We have 4 buttons. We have a camera dedicated button, a lock button, and a volume button. Unfortunately, on the Nexus, it doesn't have this camera dedicated button. So we also have a camera on the back, which is 8 megapixels, and no front camera, which is unfortunate. This thing runs Windows Phone 7.5, which is not up to date yet. We also have Gorilla Glass 1, which is not as good quality as Gorilla Glass 2. And it's just overall not as good. It probably breaks easier as well. Just like the Nexus, we have a one-piece phone with non-expandable storage, and we also have a smaller screen size, and then the Nexus, which in a way may be more compact, but then again you don't see as much on the screen, and it may be also less resolution as well. On any Windows phone, this thing cannot be rooted, so you cannot jailbreak this in any way. So, which is obviously the downside. It also has the same price as the Nexus, with being 3,000 kroner or £300. So now we'll move on to the conclusion and determine which one is better.
Okay, so just for a short OS run through, this thing has Chrome, as most new Android devices will have. It runs Project Butter very smoothly, one of Android's new prides and glory. It runs stock Android GUI. For others, you can purchase a HTC, which has a totally different interface, or the Samsung. For the Play Store, it is extremely huge. Normally, no internet here, it's very hard to show. This thing runs quad-core. It does support wireless charging. It also has a CPU restrictor at higher temperatures. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, so now to the software. Okay, now time for the OS run-through of the Nokia Lumia 800. We should first start off with the fact that it uses Internet Explorer as a browser, which isn't the best for a computer, but for this device it's actually very good. And since this is a Nokia, we have pre-installed Nokia apps like Nokia Maps, Nokia Drive, which is a GPS, Nokia Music. For themes, we have a theme changer, which you just go here and choose your color. Doesn't matter what it is. And you can also change if you want a dark or light background. And we also, which is unfortunate, we have a small app store. So if you were looking for apps for this device, this is not the device to get. You should rather get an Android. This thing is not as fast as the Nexus. It only has 2 cores, but it's still a smooth phone. It still runs fine with whatever it has. This thing does not have a wireless charger, so you will always need to plug it in if you ever want a charge. And this thing has no CPU restrictor, so if this phone gets hot, there's nothing that helps it cool it down, so you'll just have to have it as it is. And that's it for our video. And now we will do a benchmark test of both the camera and boot up test.
Now for the boot up test. Yeah. And the Windows Phone has started up faster.
Okay. Alright, so here's the camera test. As you can clearly see, the Nexus has a better resolution camera, and it also has, it's more sharp, and the colors are much better. With the Nokia, the screen isn't exactly perfect. We only have a 4:3 ratio, which is kind of lame. If I were to turn down the quality, then we would have a more wide screen, but the problem is that the colors are a little messed up, and it's just not very good for taking pictures or photos with.
Okay, so we're going to go through a part-by-part conclusion. For the Nexus, it has a quad core, it's got a front camera, it's got a bigger screen than the Lumia. It has a bigger store full of apps. It's also got NFC S-Beam for Android devices, which practically means that had I had a Chrome page open, I could have just tapped that through and it would have come up. For the Lumia, there's no glass on the back, which is a huge advantage, seeing as there's no protection installed for the back of the Nexus 4. The OS is very fast, and it's definitely got better speakers as the Nexus 4 speakers are shit. So that's it for these phones. Thank you.
So that was the comparison of the Nokia Lumia 800 and the LG Nexus 4, presented by Joseph733 and KasperBest. See you guys later.
A bag of weed, a bag of weed, everything's better with a bag of weed. Just put the table and you're on there.
No, that's off.
Okay, well, we're in the videos.
Now for that one. So that was. So this is the.
A bag of weed, everything's better with a bag of weed.